Now he sees its contents fully formed, hairless baby Wayne, but with a happy trail. Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends and lore and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida. Wow. Episode 333.
Wow. Yeah. We made it.
Yeah.
This is the number of the saints, right? The saints number?
Come on. Yeah, it's a holy number for sure. And as my Freemason brother, Joshua,
Yes.
There's some significance to the number as well as some holy sanctification. But I want to address something really fast, an elephant in the room. My voice doesn't normally sound like this. Could you tell the fans that? Let them know. Just remind them.
It sounds more gristly,
Yes.
I think. Normally more masculine. Right now you sound like an 18-year-old that smoked a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah. Well, their dad caught them with cigarettes and then said, "You're going to smoke the whole pack."
Yes.
This is the next day. This is what you sound like.
The truth of the matter is an evil sea witch took my voice and put it in a shell. And I'm working to
sea
get it
hag.
back. I'm working to get it back. But for our new listeners, this episode really is for you because we are launching episode 333 almost as a reboot so that you don't feel overwhelmed joining our show, joining the fan base 7 years into this thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. There will be no inside jokes.
That's right.
Nothing that you don't get.
That's right.
Tabula rasa, we
Come
say.
on.
A blank slate.
Come
From here on out, you're going to be on the inside of the jokes.
Now that was Egyptian, you said, correct? Tabula
Yes,
rasa.
yeah. Well, it was hieroglyphics.
Or
I
Pentecostal.
translated it into Egyptian. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, we are the Florida Men on Florida Man. My name is Wayne McCarty, and the one that doesn't sound like an old smoker,
Hagrid.
Which,
Yeah,
you wanna say your
my
own
name
name?
is Josh
Yeah.
Mills, and I have the buttery baritone voice.
Come on, how would you
like to
describe mine? Like, how would you describe as it normally is? Not right now, but as it normally is.
Oh, it sounds like you're on the other side of a windmill, maybe a something that Republicans hate. Wind energy.
No. How does it sound normally? Not right now. I'm saying like
Normally it sounds like you remember when the clown was trying to coax the kid into the gutter system?
Oh,
And he was like,
yes.
hey buddy, come here.
That's my normal voice.
That's your normal voice. You're very tempting.
Somebody once said, if you combined every cast member, male and female, of the show 90210 from the 90s, that my voice sounds like that.
Yeah. Oh, I would have guessed Friends, but yeah, similar regard here.
Yeah. So welcome. We decided to teach you about our show. And so what we're going to do is we're a segmented show. We have 3 segments normally. And so in the beginning,
This is the cold open.
this is the cold open, yes. And in the beginning of each segment, we're going to teach you what you can expect moving forward, or if you decide to go back and start on episode 1 or whatever and listen to old episodes, what you can expect. But if you want to stay here and go forward and never go back, that's okay too.
That's cool too.
We're okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna teach you and enjoy you, and you're gonna enjoy us.
That's
way.
right. By choice. Yeah. And now Joshua, we have some biographies about ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Well, should we go back a little bit? Josh and I have been best friends since we were
Oh
teenagers.
my gosh. Yeah. 17?
Way before Josh hit puberty.
Yeah. No, I was late. Well, you're gonna learn this
Yes,
in
eventually.
the future.
That's right.
Yeah, I was late to puberty only because I was what they described as hypermasculine from the jump. And that's not an inside joke. That's what a doctor prescribed me as.
That's right.
And so I hit puberty at 23.
Yes.
And so that's exactly what Wayne described.
Well, instead of Brett's milk, you had human growth hormone. Brett's milk.
HGH. Yeah.
So we had a guy named Brett on the store down the road from our house, and he served all the milk in our neighborhood. And instead of having Brett's milk as a kid, Josh had human growth hormone, like you said, HGH. And that's why
HGH,
the delay in puberty.
Well, the cow had HGH. I drank the cow's milk. It's a whole thing.
It's contagious.
We're going to retell it because there's no inside jokes or information you don't know.
But we, now because we know each other so well and we're best friends, we wrote each other's biographies just sight unseen. I have no idea what Josh wrote for me. Yeah, from scratch. I have no idea. But
I'll go first.
You go first. Read the biography that I wrote for you, if you don't mind.
Josh Mills was born briefly in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to his second stepmom Lori, which is I didn't think you knew this about me. Right?
Nope, I know everything.
He likes street racing. I do. He likes the movie Titan. I do.
Yeah, the trailer.
Well,
at least.
I like recommending it. recommending it.
He loves the trailer.
I love the trailer.
Yeah.
He likes. This is where you're wrong. He likes sour stuff and spicy stuff. I love sour stuff and spicy stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Wayne did big arms at that. One fact about Josh is that he was actually possessed, by the spirit of a 85-year-old African storyteller, which is why the show does so well. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
From 1997, my favorite year, until 2015, he was able to do a one-handed handstand.
That's right.
And that's a scientific fact. And I didn't do a one-handed handstand from those years, like that entire time.
Right.
I was just able to do it.
Come on.
That was until I gained a little extra weight because the girl I was dating was into heavier boys.
That's right. She said, I don't want to be able to pick you up.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
His personal sponsors include Mitsubishi, the car company that's on the decline now, sadly. The state of Maine, and I'm not the reason they're on the decline. It's because they don't put out enough cool cars.
They don't put out. That's right.
Yeah. They put out the Outlander SUV.
Yes.
And the Endeavor. And those are compact SUVs, but not very popular.
Look at those sponsor drops he's got. Just he can't help it.
I can't help it.
He can't help it.
Besides the state of Maine, I also have a sponsor, Arby's. Have it your way.
That's right.
That's right. I like to say, Josh is funny. Josh is kind. Josh is bearded, and Josh is fine.
Come on! Wow.
It's interesting that you added my email sign off onto that.
I did. Your Hotmail. Now I'll read the one that Josh wrote for me. I'm sure it's as accurate as that one was.
And this is based on true facts.
These are based on true facts. This says here. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were writing a whole short story. This says Wayne.
It's your bio.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me summon my normal voice. Here we go. Wayne wasn't born in the traditional way. He was discovered. In 1985, a welder and his young spouse are exiting a Cracker Barrel restaurant where they took refuge during a thunderstorm.
That's normal for Florida.
Very normal. The parking lot has 2 to 3 inches of water. And between the flashes of lightning, the welder he's used to the flashing lights. He notices the top of the Weber grill pop out of a culvert. No idea what that means.
You wouldn't. You were a baby.
That's right. Yeah. It's beyond my knowledge. As a welder of metal, he sees the Weber grill as a possible cash flow, so he eagerly sloshes towards it. Now,
I can picture it.
Now, his eagerness here, and I just realized you're describing my father. Now, his eagerness here worked against him because the wake he caused pushed it further away.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Finally, he launches himself for it, but midair, he sees its contents and he has to bail. He lands belly flop style next to it, splashing stormwater everywhere. But he is up on his feet as quick as he was down.
That's
now he sees its contents fully formed, hairless baby Wayne, but with a happy trail.
You would.
I can't help it. I was discovered that way. In his hands, he holds a DVD copy of Wild Things with Denise Richards. Since then, he's become a podcast co-host, has his own wife and kids. No one knows where Wayne came from, but we're 90% sure he's here on purpose. Come on.
Yeah.
That's
Is
good,
that true
bro.
or not? Is
It's
that
all true. Now, that percentage fluctuates, doesn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Like
depending
most
on the
stats.
day.
Depending on the day.
Wednesdays, yeah.
Hearing that my father belly flopped next to a grill outside of a Cracker Barrel during a thunderstorm, it's hard to hear that for the first time on your show. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to hear that on my show.
All you had to do was call and talk to him and ask him where I came from.
Yeah,
So I called your dad and I was like, where'd Wayne come from?
He was like, have
And
a
I was
seat.
expecting,
Yeah, birds and the bees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
whatever
he
that
goes,
means.
Oh no, I was with my young bride Sheila
That's right.
at a
My mother.
at a Cracker Barrel because
My mother.
the thunderstorm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I went outside, and this culvert, stormwater.
That's right.
The top of this Weber grill popped out of this culvert, and I was like, I could make money off of welding that.
Did you memorize it? Because I just read that. That's what's crazy about it. That's like line for line.
Yeah, of course I did. It's important. You're my co-host.
Well, thank you so much, man. You're more than my co-host. You're my brother, and I just wanted to be the first one to say that. This has been the cold open, new listeners. This is what you
gone
get
long.
out of the gate. You hit the play button, and you're just going to get blasted in the face with facts from these two sweet boys, myself and my best friend Josh.
But in a different voice.
I'll have a normal voice next week.
Hey, headlines.
Hello, sir. This is the headline section.
Now, the headline section normally starts with, hey, headlines.
That's right.
But
Yep.
if you're a new listener, write in and say, this is what I want it to sound like.
I want you to say this specific phrase. Write in and
Hey,
let us know.
News. Hey, local news.
That's right.
At anything. We're open. We're open to it. 333 episodes in.
Oh,
we're still adaptable.
We're open, we're malleable, and we'll do anything for you all and for money.
Yeah.
So you just let us
We
know what
both
you want us to
believe
say.
in evolution.
Come on. Well, to a degree. But go ahead.
Yeah, headlines. So instead of covering the most recent headlines,
Yes.
because this is episode 333, we're going to cover our favorites from the last 7 years.
That's right. What a
Gosh,
special treat
there
for you
were-
all.
There were so many to choose from.
Yes.
I chose what relates to me most.
Spiritually, you said.
Yeah. Florida couple trapped in unlocked closet for 2 days. It starts with a couple,
Yeah.
which is great to hear. I like that people are coupling up. I'm not against a throuple or a quadruple.
That's right. That's right.
a
But
pentuple.
but for the sake of this story, it feels like if there had been more than two, perhaps they would have figured out that it was unlocked.
Ideally, yeah, because you're looking at to 4 arms, you go to 6. One of those arms has got to touch a knob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this lady and her fella, or fella and her lady, I like when the woman's in charge.
That's right. Same.
It took 2 days for this couple because they were high on drugs.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that also because when you get a money sign tattooed on your neck, like you either better be the best singer or something else. I don't
That's
know
right.
why else you would put a money sign on your neck. But yeah, no, they went into a closet and did drugs like you do. I believe that drug users like to be in a confined space from talking to them.
Well, it depends on the drug.
because
yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the drug.
Yeah.
Ecstasy, I think, is a drug that you want to be out sweating and touching people.
Like at a gas station or like a park or something.
Like at a gas station or like from dusk till dawn and Salma Hayek's there.
Oh, like an abandoned hotel in Arizona. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. But this couple, they did the drugs. They went into, I think it was a closed down school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not reading this. This is just off my brain, off my dome. And then they thought they were locked in. And maybe that was the drug or a higher being protecting them. But they stayed in the closet for 2 days.
Dude, 48 hours not realizing that the door's unlocked is crazy.
And then they called 911. And they said, hey, we're stuck.
Well, the hesitation's got to be because they're high as a kite on very illegal drugs. And they know if we call the cops, we're going to jail. So my question to you, Josh.
Unless it's a really cool cop.
Well, if
those odds are very slim.
And they get time served. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, you've already,
because
bro,
you've been in the closet.
You've been in there 2 days. You've already established a pee corner. Like, but my question.
We were going to lock you up for 5 days. Now we're going to lock you up for 3.
Dude, and that sounds fair to me. But my question to you, Josh, is how long do you think you could stay in a closet before you realized it was unlocked the whole time?
Oh, I think I'm checking the knob within an hour because I've run out of like entertaining videos and fresh air. That's my thing. I'm a big fresh air fan.
Right. I can't be expected to ration anything. Yeah. So I think because of the anxiety as well as I probably would check the knob every 5 minutes. Like when I go to the bathroom
I probably
now,
have my hand on the knob.
Yes. When I
keep my hand on the knob.
I do the same thing. When I go to the bathroom or like an elevator, I keep it on the button or the knob the whole time because it's like I want to make sure I can get out if I want to.
Of course, yeah. Does the hand on the button in the elevator help?
To some degree, because it prevents other folks from getting off when they want to get off and allows me to control the elevator.
Of course, yeah.
But what happened with this couple? Did they get arrested? I mean,
they got arrested because cops they're like, oh my gosh, drugs? That's a frowny face for us.
Not in Florida. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. And then they got locked up. Sadly.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, man. I mean, look, dude. They had 2 days of freedom to do whatever they wanted, and they decided
and drugs, and that's what they did. Do you have a headline that can compare to 2 days locked in an unlocked closet?
This is another one from our bin of, listener submitted favorite headlines. Someone wrote this in and said, "Make sure you do this one for a new listener." I said, "Okay." It says,
that's nice.
Very nice. It says, Florida man busted trying to steal full rack of ribs that were stashed in the front of his pants. So,
if they're in the front of my pants, then they're my property. They're in my care, custody, and control.
Yes.
So it's not stealing.
Well, here's my thing. This says Mr. Aguilar, who was 26 years old at the time, he was taken into custody on petty merchant theft after walking out of the Rhines Market store with a whole rack of ribs stuffed down the front of his pants.
I'm guessing these were vacuum sealed, from what I remember, because you can't just stuff a fresh rack down your pants.
Now, there's a phrase that Josh has heard before: is how much meat you got in those pants, and that's what.
And I've answered that question before.
That's right, a Vienna. But the cop here was confused because the man pulls a rack of ribs out of his pants, which is what the headline says. Okay.
Yes, of course.
So you would think that's it and that's all. But
are they tied up? Because what stops them from sliding down the pant leg?
I think he wrapped it around his front, kind of like a bulletproof vest, kind of like a.
Very cool.
You see what I'm saying?
Very cool. Yeah. A little protection, a little bone in there.
Yeah. So
stop the bullets.
So the ribs come out of the front of his britches, and the cops go, "Hey, man, you got some unfamiliar lumps still in those jeans, right? Like something."
I've got polyps and keloids and ketoids and stuff. You want me to get nude here?
Well, that's the thing. A shame on that cop for assuming, and body shaming this man. But here's the thing: unshame that cop because he was right. Because when they pulled down the man's britches, they found, in addition to the rack of ribs, 9 pieces of fried chicken, 2 packs of hamburger, some mashed potatoes, and then a bottle of booze. So, I mean, he had the whole picnic.
This dude wants to have a good time.
He wants to
have
illegal. A good time. And dude, here's the thing though, bro.
You said mashed potatoes?
Yeah. Again, which makes me think it
that's
wasn't
not my
shrink wrap.
ideal side. Yeah.
I know, but imagine this. Imagine
yeah.
that split second where, you know, the man thinks he's gotten away with it scot-free because they pull the ribs out, and then and then there's a conversation.
Yeah.
So he's like, even if you take my ribs,
Yeah.
I've got half a dozen chicken, bro. I've got mashed potatoes. I've got a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Take the mashed potatoes, actually.
My goodness, yeah, take everything but the bottle of wine and the chicken. But and then as the cops slowly disrobed him, they found
Well, cops like to see perpetrators nude. And that's the biggest problem.
Right. And as somebody who's been arrested multiple times, I'll just tell you this. Faster
well, that voice, you can tell you've been arrested.
Oh yeah, they say I know all the streets by name. You know, I got a rosy voice, but no. So this man went to jail for stealing pounds of meat down the front of his britches. And again, dude, I feel for the guy, but at the same time, you got to purchase it, man. You can't steal from a mom and pop store.
You do, yeah. Because if not, you're raising the price for the rest of us.
Yeah. And the prices
I like
are
a rack
already
of
high.
ribs just like everybody else. I like a good solid rack with barbecue on them.
How do you eat them? Could you do a quick demonstration for those who are watching the live stream? There it is. There it is. Now, we are a family.
How do you eat them?
Just bone and all, and then I just, you know.
I like no bone. I'm a McRib fan.
Really? Now, so this gentleman went to jail for stealing meat. Again,
and that's okay. I'm okay with that.
If you're just joining the live stream,
squeeze in another one. Yeah. If I can squeeze in another headline.
Yeah, go ahead.
If possible. There's so many. After 6 years, it's like, what do I choose here?
These are all listener favorites. If you're just tuning in, these are all listener favorite headlines.
Do I go with the crime where they robbed a pharmacy and then tossed out the cotton? Or do I go with the Florida man saves a 400-pound black bear? Or do I go with the iguanas that were frozen and then thawed themselves out and attacked someone?
I would say
it's so tough here.
A lot of folks have in the past and probably will in the future call you a bear. So just in kind of a singularity, maybe cover the bear. I mean,
no. I like to think that I could be a bear. If everything lined up, you know, when the planets line up, and you can look through a telescope and you're like, oh my gosh, all the planets are lined up.
This is a good chance. I mean, a good time for me to address this. If you're a new listener, again, listening to the relaunch of our show, I don't practice witchcraft, nor am I a sailor, so I don't know when the planets line up, Josh. But
dude, I could tell you.
I understand the sentiment of it.
We'll speak about it off air because I don't want to scare new listeners. But let's just say that there was this man, and there was this bear.
Caucasian man?
Well, of course, yeah.
Go ahead. Okay, gotcha.
It made the news, and he's still alive.
Gotcha.
So, of course, the cops are like, "Oh, you're good, dude." And this bear just comes running, and he's not in practice. He's not wearing Umbros or anything.
No,
he's not wearing like sports clothes.
He's just raw dogging,
and he's just raw dogging, and he just goes running into the waterway. They call it. And this man says, hey, Nish, bears aren't supposed to be in water.
No, not normally.
Yeah. And this bear was acting kind of drunk.
You don't say.
Yeah. And so this guy's like, okay, I can gauge that bear. That bear's probably pretty heavy, but I'm pretty strong. And he ran into the water and saved the bear, which is a really high risk thing. It's a risk versus reward. You know about this.
Come on, I do. Yeah, I do.
And he hugged the bear and he swam back to shore. What do you think happened then?
The bear ate him alive. That's what I read. Pulled his insides out.
Yeah. Pretty close. The bear ran off because he didn't understand that Homo sapiens exist.
That's right. Now I'll say this.
Oh my gosh, the missing link.
If you're a new listener, which is the plan for this episode, let me go ahead and just describe you the difference between myself and my brother and co-host. If Josh saw a bear drowning in the ocean, he would 100% go try to save it. I promise you, he'd pull that shirt off. He'd no pun intended.
Well, the shirt's
bear
already
hug.
off.
Come on, right.
Yeah.
Drag him to safety. Now, if yours truly saw the same incident, I would turn around and pretend I never saw it. I would go the opposite direction of the ocean.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because I'm terrified of anything of that stature and size.
Well, with claws and teeth, you've always said you're against claws and teeth.
Not my thing. Yeah, not my thing. I prefer to be cuddled. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking to get scratched up.
And a bear could do that in the right environment.
Yeah. But this is a rarity where no one went to jail. Just a Florida Man headline with a happy ending. That
I'm
hardly.
Sure the bear went kind of probably into a mental jail because it's embarrassing. But not Bob.
Everybody just left. Everybody just tuned out. That's the end of the episode. There it is. It is embarrassing.
When a human saves you, right?
Come on. It is embarrassing, dude. But I'll say this: we've got two more headlines here, or we got a few more headlines here actually. I'm gonna make our way. We've got the Florida robbery suspects.
These are fan favorites.
So we should probably cover them. Now, imagine you break into a CVS. We would never have to do that, but imagine that we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the end of the month,
it gets a little tight.
I feel like I could break into
It gets
CVS.
a little tight. You're all out of ibuprofen.
It gets a little tight. Yeah.
It gets a little tight. Let me say this. So someone breaks into this CVS. And the problem that the cops are having when they show up is that they check the cameras. The men are wearing masks. They're wearing head-to-toe costumes. They're wearing surgical gloves over their hands.
Okay. I can see it.
It appears they parked pretty far away because they kind of just appeared in the parking lot.
Maybe they're fit.
Well, they take every precaution when breaking into the CVS. And they rob $45,000 worth of pills. Okay. That's a lot of pills. Street rate.
It could be a lot. Pills, it could be a little.
A street rate for most SSRIs are $10 to $20. So
serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Yes,
that's right.
Big fan.
Same. So they do all the good stuff. If you're a robber, they check off all the marks. Now here's where they messed up, because
how did they mess up?
The robbers decided that they wanted to take the pills out of the child-proof bottles and into Ziploc bags, where it's easier, I guess, to distribute. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, you got one guy that's probably really good at popping them caps, right?
Come on. Yep.
And you're like, get in the back seat, pop them caps, and dump them into one big bag.
Well, they're driving to their hideout, and the person that they assigned to repackage these pills, he just tosses the original pill bottles out the window. So all the Florida cops had to do is follow this trail of empty pill bottles all the way to their hideout.
Well, the Trail of Tears, I think they call it, right?
They do. They should call it that. A different event had already happened that had that, but they do call it the Trail of Tears Part 2.
Oh, okay. Is that trademarked?
It's also involving the Mormons. So they get to this hideout and they knock on the door, and this is true. The first suspect goes, "How did you find us? How? Because we worked so hard."
Yeah.
And the cop looks at him and says,
"That's the mastermind you're talking to."
Yeah. And he says, we trailed your 3 dozen empty bottle of pills all the way back to your hideout.
Okay. Let me see if I remember this correctly. They did all the groundwork. They broke into the CVS. The man in the back seat decides he's going to litter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The cops followed the litter trail.
Which we call that sin. We call that in our show. If you're new,
of course,
sin.
There's no higher sin.
Separation.
I think
from
it
God.
goes littering, blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Fist fighting at school. So those are the top 3 if you ask us. Normally,
the Trinity.
Yeah,
the
big 3. But this guy commits the cardinal sin, litters.
Fist fighting in school is what tops out the top 3.
Brother,
I don't know. I don't make the rules.
I don't write the law. I'm
the
not
Bible
a lawyer.
from start to finish.
No idea. I don't even read the Bible. I have the Bible app talk to me in a British accent, so I don't even know if that's even legitimate.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, they all went to prison. They all went to prison.
Of course, you can't steal other people's medicine. That's the frowny face. We're against.
But
As
if a
Florida man, we're against it.
We're against it. But if a friend offers you some of their medicine, yeah,
Oh, I take it all day. Dude.
yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Unless
I want to know what my friend's going through. That's why I take their drugs.
come on. Now I want to address something here really quickly before we go back to the headlines.
Yeah.
If you're new to our show and you're in elementary or junior high or high school,
It's not for you.
you can't take anything that we say, for real. You can't do these things. We're not your dads. You know what I'm saying? You can't do these
No.
things.
We're not your dads. That's the subtext to our whole podcast.
We're not your dads. Okay. Now, but if you're 18 plus, brother,
We're your dads.
we're your dads. Pay attention. All right. You're going to learn something on this episode. Now, Josh,
Yeah. I
I'm
got
gonna
another. I got
go
another
ahead.
headline.
Go for it, Bubba.
And this. Oh gosh, you're gonna think. Are you talking about my grandma?
I might think that. Go ahead.
A Florida grandma scares off naked intruder. Strike one, obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
depending on the gender.
Invited or
By
not.
popping her dentures out.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Stole my move,
a
dude.
man, yeah, a man wearing apparently a two-piece jail outfit, which I didn't know that was a thing. You know,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
that's a sad thing because you could do a one-piece jail outfit.
It'd be
We're
cheaper.
big on fashion.
Mhm.
If you go to male fashion advice subreddit.com,
.com.
you're gonna see Wayne and I post.
I love a little crop
this
top.
guy. Yeah, this guy, he's wearing two-piece jail outfit and a pair of flip-flops, and that's when he faced the judge,
Yes.
right? But when he faced the actual lady, he was nude.
Now we discourage that on our show.
Yeah. We discourage it because you're very identifiable. What you would say?
Yep. Yeah.
Your nude body. If you can describe my private parts, then I'm going to get locked up.
Yes. Yeah. And here's the
You've
thing.
said that.
And I want to add a caveat, a little asterisk to this. No one should see your nude body other than the person, the soulmate, if you will, that your village has chosen for you to wed. So if you're standing in front of somebody that you don't know naked, you're going to go to jail. You are currently sinning. Now, another caveat I just want to add really fast about the jail outfits. When Josh
please.
and I had community service, he would pull his pocket out so I could hang on to it because I was nervous at community service. He would pull his pocket out and I would hang on to it and have my little crop top prison outfit.
Yeah.
Now that's
because that was our roles there, Dom and Sub.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I was just scared of getting lost.
You were
the
Sub
side.
at that time.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up later.
In
But what did this woman do?
Story,
Yeah.
In this story, she popped out her teeth.
As
And she said, "Grandma, no teeth." That's
Yeah.
a direct quote from this lady. She said, "Grandma, no teeth." And I like that she's like, I don't have time to orchestrate a full sentence here.
No.
I'm just going to shorten it. I'm going to shorten it like everybody's favorite episode of The Office
Come on.
when Kevin shortens his speech.
Well, she was raised on 10 cent a minute texting, I think is what it was. So she's used to
Is that
abbreviating.
T9 keyboard?
That's right. Yeah. Grandma, no teeth. And
Yeah,
there's
grandma,
naked
no
man.
teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that does scare part-time nudist. If you're a full-time nudist,
That's
you'll,
invitation.
you'll understand grandma no teeth. It's an invitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're a part-time nudist, you go, oh my God, that's scary.
I'm getting out of here. I've made a mistake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he got locked up because
Yeah.
grandma no teeth scared him out. He stumbled out and into the arms of a local police who was on his beat. You know, beat cops.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he had a boom box, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing busting out of that lady's house?"
What are you doing
And
naked?
he got locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing naked? That's the first question. Hey, fella.
And that's what we say in the beginning of the icebreaker.
That's what we say. This is the icebreaker. Now, the icebreaker is a non-traditional,
Come on.
neo-traditional,
Come on.
way of telling the listeners who we are.
Come on.
And what we've experienced.
That's right.
It's also a way where when listeners feel like, hey, I got to write in, I gotta express myself.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we share it, right?
That's right.
So we'll take listener letters. We'll take, sometimes we'll do quizzes.
That's right.
And this is where all of that happens. So if you write in, get past the headlines, get past the cold open. This is where your information is going to be spread to millions.
Oh, it's
potentially.
And it's the opportunity for you to feel like a fan. And I'll say this because this is the only place on our show where I feel like our listeners really have an opportunity to get to know us and get to know the inside jokes and the private humor. This is the most personable, I think, of our show.
Yes. Yeah.
I think so.
Like we have expressed, well, I've been through a lot of life events through the last 6 years.
You have.
So a lot of the icebreaker, even though it's my segment, it is also my life.
Yes.
So we went through my divorce on the icebreaker.
Yep.
Which was amicable and friendly.
Until the lawsuit, but initially right off the bat.
Until the lawsuit, because revenge porn. So.
Right. And we'll beep that.
Which part?
To our revenge. But to our new listeners, Josh was married to my sister.
Yes. That's not why we started the podcast.
No.
That was just a benefit.
Well, if I may, the reason why we started the podcast is because neoliberal fascists have taken over the left. And Josh and I felt like we needed to give a moderate Democrat version of it.
That's why we started it?
Not entirely.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry. Your segment. Go ahead.
Yeah. The icebreaker. We do quizzes.
Yes.
Quizzes are fun.
I love them.
And a lot of time I get my inspiration from the listeners. And one of my favorite parts is when listeners write in asking for advice.
Yes. Or call in.
Yeah. So we've done voicemails. One of my favorite parts is called Dadvice.
Oh yeah.
And Wayne being a dad, he really steps up here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And a couple of the of my favorite Dadvice questions. One actually has a lot of repercussions, right? So an episode a while ago, a listener asked for Dadvice, and they said, "Hey, my dad's dead." But in his will, he said, "I want my ashes spread around the globe. I want to circumnavigate the globe." Right?
Right.
You remember this?
I do remember it now.
And the dad actually did something creative. The dad listed 5 ways. This is all true. The dad listed 5 ways in which his ashes could possibly be spread.
Come on. Yeah.
And the child or children, if they didn't pick one of those 5, then they got their inheritance.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
They didn't know the 5 though. That's the query here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they had to decide a way to spread their dad's ashes. That wouldn't be obvious.
And they wrote into us for this help.
And they wrote into us, which we are hyper creatives.
That's right. And never wrong.
And and I believe that we suggested a cruise ship, a hot air balloon,
yep,
and a mariachi band, a traveling mariachi band.
That's right.
And we didn't hear back from them. That could be out of them enjoying their greed and their money, or could be out of their anger.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
But another one, and maybe it has less repercussions here, was a dad that now has a limp that has been prescribed a cane. And the question was, my dad hates the stigma of a cane.
Come on.
What can he use instead?
Yeah, I got goosies
Do you
just
remember
now.
this question?
I got goosies. Yeah, that's right. I just felt it come over me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you remember what you suggested instead of this dad using a cane?
I remember it fully, man, but I want you to say it.
Yeah. Oh, you suggested a traffic cone.
That doesn't sound like me. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, man, when you write into our show, and you, the listeners, I'm addressing you, you know, what you're asking for and what you're getting is primetime advice. And because we don't check our email or our mailbox or our PO box or our voicemails that often, sometimes that advice is late, but I digress. It's always on time. It might be late, but it's always on time from us, isn't it? You said that, John.
Yeah. It's always on time from our hearts.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things have to marinate.
Yeah.
For them to be real, is what we say.
Yeah.
So I suggested, and I'd like to just highlight this, how smart I am. I suggested a camera tripod. Because the best thing about like having a camera tripod is being mistaken for a photographer.
Right.
Because you could just take photos of anybody and you'd be like, listen, dude, I'm here for Newsweek.
I'm a professional. You know what I mean?
I'm a professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they took our advice. I don't know about the traffic cone part.
Yeah.
But they took my advice. Another part of the icebreaker that 333 episodes in that you may have missed, but we're going to catch you up on, is kind of my personal life.
Yeah.
So I did do the divorce, right?
You did do the divorce.
Do the divorce.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I did do the dating, right?
You dated for a while, bro.
Yeah. And sometimes I accidentally dated and I didn't know I was dating.
Yeah.
Do you remember Amish Annie?
Come on. I was hoping, bro, you were going to strike gold with Amish Annie. Because, I mean, as somebody that knows the inside jokes, man, like for a new listener, what you're getting right now, you're getting 7 years worth of inside jokes. So that moving forward, when Josh makes these little quips about, I have my little Amish Annie, now you're going to know.
Annie.
Now you're going to know.
Yeah, now you're going to know. And Wayne did a story. There's an Amish village, I guess it is called here in Florida.
That's right.
And Wayne did a story on it, and I didn't know that because 2 years prior to the story that Wayne did, I had taken a work trip to the area, and my rental car was a Buick convertible.
That's right.
And on my way to the hotel, there was a trike, a three-wheel bicycle broken down, and I pulled over, and I met a young lady, and she was in a what I would describe as a milk gardener's outfit.
Yeah, very. And again, he's painting such a perfect visual. He doesn't need my help.
Yeah.
But the way he described it to
can
me,
jump in.
the way he described
The
way he described it to me, he said she's got a little pink bonnet on. He said. He texted
She
me.
did
Said,
have a
she got
bonnet
a
on.
bonnet
I didn't
on.
know what a bonnet was until I saw her by the side of the road with a flat tire.
Yeah.
And I
On her
I
trike.
picked her up in my Buick convertible. And
Rented.
rented, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you need an idea of when in time and space that this happened, it's when Psy Gangnam Style happened.
Okay, so like, not that long ago.
You got it. Yeah. Not that long ago. It's what we like to say.
Yeah.
And so I picked her up and I drove her to her Amish village and we sang a song together. We sang Gangnam Style. It's very repetitious
Yeah.
and fun to sing. Wayne does it really good.
Open Gangnam Style. And again, my voice is gone because of the sinus infection. But if you tune in next week, and then every week after that, I'm gonna do a rendition of Gangnam Style, so you guys can know
Every week. Yeah.
what he's talking about.
And then you can piece it together every week and have the full song.
It'll be the whole song, right?
Yeah. And apparently what I had done here by picking her up in my convertible and singing a song with her is I had done the traditional ways of dating and engaging an Amish woman.
That's right.
And I didn't know that. And that was scary to me because when I dropped her off, her dad was carving a shank out of a piece of wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he said, okay, you've proposed to my young daughter.
Mm.
And I didn't even know what was happening. But that's just one story that you missed out of 332 hours of information.
And it's almost like journaling meets therapy, isn't it? Because Josh went on, I mean, God, probably 30 or 40 dates in that window.
Yeah, they were rough, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not a good dater.
Remember Horse Girl that you dated?
She double kicked my door down. She double kicked. Okay. Well, she double kicked my door closed.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that because the date was going good.
Yeah.
But she both feet kicked my door closed.
Oh yeah. In a way that made you stick around a little bit, if you get my drift. I mean, like
of course you want to see what she's working with. If she
that's
can
right.
double kick a door down.
Very strong. Yeah, very strong.
But we've had a lot of stuff happen in the icebreaker. And I'm thankful to be doing it with you.
Well, I can I just add a little bow here because as someone that's been your best friend for well over 20 years, what I love most is hearing stories that I've never heard before about your life.
For sure.
And so whenever we're together 7 days a week and you somehow have, went on some cruise that I wasn't a part of, I like hearing about that live on the air with our listeners.
Well, the Hot Boys cruise.
The Hot
It's
Boys
invite
cruise
only.
that I wasn't invited to. But it is our good friend Jordan Wilcox, who is a world-renowned designer, and he's accomplished so much height-wise and design-wise. But
handsome-wise.
And handsome-wise. He said to me one time, he said, the icebreaker is a bit heady, and that's a good thing because it's worth the investment to understand what the jokes are and what the story is actually
that's
about.
A compliment.
It's a huge compliment. We're in the heady portion of the show, and you never know what you're going to get. You might get a Josh dating story, or you might get dog news.
Well, and every year we do dog news.
We do dog news every year.
Yeah.
And what is that?
That's dog news.
News about dogs.
Dog news, dog news. Dog news, dog news. Dog news, dog news. News about dogs. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Do you have some news to share today?
Wow.
And I believe this actually has been adopted by the ASPCA.
It
as
did.
Their official dog news anthem.
And Fox News runs it at 1 a.m., they said.
Because nobody's listening.
No, not anymore.
Bruh.
Now, somewhere around episode 300, Josh got a soundboard, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm still trying to figure out
Me too.
where those come from. This is the portion of the show, new listeners. And by the way, if you're a recurring listener and you sign into 333 and you go, why are you teaching these new fans about your show? It's because we want to.
We've been with you.
Yeah, like we want to.
Why are you? Yeah.
Let me tell you why. We want to cast a wide net, okay? And
cast net.
Not everybody's been privileged to be with us since 2016, 2017. And so
It's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours, man. And we don't want you to feel that pressure to go back and slog through the whole catalog. If you want to,
You should.
bless you, bless you and your ministry. But if you want to start on 333, move forward, and feel like I'm part of the team, that's what this is about. We're inclusive on this show, and this is the part after the icebreaker is done. Josh has opened your mind and your body, and he leaves it to me to kind
Very
of
promiscuous.
That's right,
Sexually, but mentally.
and spiritually. And so this is where we put a bow on it, and just we talk a little bit about Florida history. And
Well,
the
if I
lore.
may interrupt your whole entire section here.
Go ahead. I did a few 4 or 5 times. Go ahead.
Yeah. The reason we did the podcast is because Florida was being ridiculed.
Come on.
And we wanted to show America, maybe the world, maybe Antarctica specifically,
At least the West. Can we say that? Western culture.
at least the West,
Yeah.
that Florida shouldn't be truffled with.
Don't truffle with us.
Yeah.
Don't
and
truffle
we
with
have
us.
real history or herstory.
We've stirred up the hornet's nest. The governor sent emails, brother. And sister in Christ, or any deity. We have caused a lot of trouble in this last better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And we stand by it. We're about to go toe to toe again with our governor, and we'll let you know more about that next week.
We're ready.
We're ready for it. And so this is where we cover the history, and this history could look like one of three things.
Yes.
It could be spooky. Amen.
Well,
it has been
that's
spooky.
scary.
It's been known to be spooky a couple times.
We've done spooky stuff.
Casadega, a wonderful spooky town in Florida.
Well, we stayed in a haunted library.
We stayed in a haunted, the Wonder House in Bartow. We were privileged enough to spend the night there and to be harassed by ghosts and demons and the like.
Yeah. Demons is.
Yeah. Well, or a djinn if you're.
Thank you.
Yeah. But now it could be spooky or it could just be inspiring, right? We cover Bessie Stringfield, who is the first black female motorcyclist.
That's my favorite. I didn't think you'd name it.
I love
because
her so much.
This is what I think. Like, I'm a motorcyclist, right?
Come on.
And I've got a little ninja, a little Kawasaki Ninja.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will throw me the bird, you know, but with the middle finger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm just riding my hog here.
Come on. And that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, okay, if I'm a black woman, then I'm really gonna be like, you know, discriminated against.
That's right. And she was. And dude, she was so
And then
tough.
what year was this? Like the 40s and 50s? Dude,
Well,
hogs were just invented.
A great time to be alive. And let me just add a little side note. If you were a black woman, this show would be doing a lot better than it is right now.
Me? Personally?
Oh yeah. Just for myself, I'm saying. Like, but we also we've covered Dr. John Gorey, the man who invented air conditioning, which is apropos, right? I mean, you
You're
live in
welcome,
Florida.
world.
You're welcome, the whole planet, right? You know what I mean? That's from Florida, a gift from us.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's silly, and we cover legendary cowboys like Bone Mazel. Bone Mazel, who could whip the fly off the butt of a cow from 30 feet away, and they say that the cow wouldn't even know what happened. Legendary cowboy Bone Mazel.
That's my favorite. Yeah. And I wouldn't know, if I'm honest. I wouldn't know if someone whipped my butt.
No, I would.
Like I don't have the same neurons and protons in my butt that I have in my front half.
Well, it's calloused like a leather, like a tough leather.
It is calloused, yeah.
But let me
Thank
just
you
say,
for putting that on this episode.
It's okay.
That I have a calloused butt.
But to sum it up, this is the part of the show
Yeah.
where we do deep dives into Florida history, right?
Yes.
And so tonight I wanted to give you just some short, brief snippets of 3 different stories that are historic to our show. If you're a listener, a longtime listener, these are what you would call classics. Classic Florida Man on Florida Man. First and foremost, I'm going all the way back to episode 1, coming out of the gate strong. We did an episode called All Dolled Up. And it was about the story of Robert the Doll, who...
Oh, see, that's scary.
It's a scary one.
I'm opposed to being scared.
Yes.
That's just a personal quirk of mine.
Yes.
I don't want to put that on anybody else.
No.
But Robert the Doll scared me.
Fright is a queer thing, man. It really is. Now, this is in the early 1900s in Key West. A young boy by the name of Gene Otto was given a doll by one of the maids that worked at his father's house. He was given this doll, and it was believed that the maid practiced voodoo, and that was a belief, a white belief, and so supposedly that's the power behind this doll coming to life. And so they would come home and they would find furniture overturned. And they would find, the room destroyed, and they would just ask the kid, Gene, what happened? And he would say, Robert did it. He would say, Robert did this.
If it's not feng shui, if your room's not feng shuied, then you probably need to overturn it.
Yeah. And
we need that flow. You need energy to be able to flow in and out. And Robert the Doll was there to help.
And Robert the Doll was one of only a handful of stories on our show that got a sequel. We did a sequel episode to Robert the Doll.
Because Robert the Doll lived. Yeah, he lived on, and now he's in a museum, and they say, don't take a photo of him, which it's like, dude, am I American or not?
Come on. Well, and
Can
so
I
again,
take a photo?
can I take a photo? But now Robert the Doll does live in a museum down in Key West. It is rumored that if you take a photo of Robert the Doll, you will be cursed.
Yeah.
So just a heads up, a little caveat.
And what did they have around Robert?
See-through glass.
Letters asking for forgiveness.
People who believe that they crossed Robert the Doll while visiting the museum and then received that curse. And so they've written letters of apology to Robert the Doll. And so...
Dude, if your name's Robert, then your name's Bob.
Come
if
on.
your name's Bob, then I'm not asking you for nothing, dude.
Oh, no. And let me tell you something.
Especially an apology.
And I said this before in our show, and people were like, "Oh my God, be careful." I look, I don't believe in it. So I'm going to say whatever I want about Robert the Doll moving forward.
Yeah, Bob the Doll.
Bob
dude,
the
you're
Doll.
not a threat. Yeah.
I'm not scared of anything under 3 feet tall. Just going to put that out there.
Preach. Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Now, I mentioned him earlier in the introduction, Bone Mazzell, Florida's legendary cowboy. This guy got like 7 sequels. I mean, how many
Well,
times have
the
we...
opposite. He would be the opposite height-wise of Robert the Doll. Yeah.
Very tall. Okay, so Bone Mazzell is a legendary cowboy. The term cracker, cowboy cracker. Now Josh and I have been called that a lot, right? It's hurtful, right? But Robert,
I'm not against like if someone wants to use a racist term against me,
yeah,
that's funny.
yeah, you deserve it. But
Yeah.
But Bone Mazzell, he was the original cowboy. So when you look up like OG Cowboy or Florida Cracker, that picture you see, that's Bone Mazzell. Okay.
That is because he was painted by the guy that was painting people.
This guy, he's a legend in our state. Okay.
Yes.
So there are rumors and legends about this town. An entire town was kidnapped and locked in a church on Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
By these, like a gang of.
This is what I like about Wayne. He kept that story secret until, I don't know, 150, 200 episodes in.
I mean, like 4
Like we
years.
knew about Bone Mazzell.
Come on.
And he wants to be buried with his boots on.
That's right. Tough guy.
We didn't know about him rescuing a whole town until 200 episodes in.
Bone Mazzell came through the ceiling and rescued a whole town of people, shot up the bad
Like Mel
guys.
Gibson.
Yes, just like Mel Gibson. And then, or Idris Elba, just to keep it even.
My favorite. Yeah.
And rescued the whole town and then escaped, and then back off into the wilderness, into the sunset, if you will. And again, this show, we want to highlight and spotlight the amazing things about Florida, not just the silly news, not just our, experiences, but what the people who came before us, what they experienced. And I think there's no one better to close episode 333 off with is sharing the story of Bessie Stringfield. We've done it before. Again, the motorcycle queen of Miami, the mother of Miami was the name that she received. And
that's the thing. Like, I am anti-confrontation. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll agree to anything, and then this 7 to 10 days later, I'll text you and be like, I'm not for that.
Yeah. So we were going to take a special trip to Amsterdam, and I'm on the tarmac. I'm waiting to fly out.
Yes.
Josh sends me a text.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
I'm not for it.
Not for it. And but now Bessie is the opposite. She is she's confrontational in the best way, right?
Well, she's confrontational and like, I want to live my life because I have one life. I want to ride that hog.
Come on.
And I want to ride that hog down in Florida.
And that's what she did. Born in 1911, Betsy Stringfield. So she was an orphan, and she was raised and gifted a motorcycle by her foster parents as a teenager. Yep. She was given a motorcycle as a teenager, and she taught herself.
What did you get as a teen? Do you remember?
Yeah, my dad gave me
Any
a gun.
gift from being a teen?
Mm-hmm. Give me a gun. Yeah, at 13. And then I earned a bag of shark's teeth.
How do you earn a bag of shark's teeth?
I don't know if I want.
Listeners?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about it. But I fair and square.
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon.
You know
tune
how
in.
Earned it.
But Betsy taught herself how.
I earned hockey, but it had a fan on it, so you could play it in the big hockey puck.
Air hockey table.
Well, no, it kind of, that big hockey puck floated, and then I also got a bubble gun And
Oh,
I
that's
didn't want to go
right.
too much on guns here, gun heavy. You know that.
Yeah.
But while all my friends at 13 and 15 and 39, these were my friends' ages,
Right.
13, 15, and 39, they got cool stuff like BMX bikes. I got a
Right.
bubble gun
Mm.
that shot bubbles. And
Yeah.
so I was able to like quickly do a bubble circle, and then my friends could ride their brand new BMX bike through them. You know, you were one of the BMXers.
That's right. Yeah. I jumped a ramp through your bubbles. And
Yeah, you did.
that's how I knew we were going to start a podcast one day. But that's actually the perfect segue back into Betsy. So she taught herself to ride the motorcycle, and then she becomes the first black woman to solo cross the continental U.S. on a motorcycle. And then she does it 7 more times. So 8 times she crosses the continental U.S. on a motorcycle. Mind you, in a time in our history where it wasn't safe for black folks anywhere, much less a single black woman going across the country.
Woman, strike
Yeah,
1.
right.
Black woman, strike 2.
Right. And she does it as
On a hog, strike 3.
Just tough, like bad A, like don't
Yeah,
tell me
like,
what
I'm
to
doing
do.
this. I got one life. I want to ride this hog across the U.S.
Come on.
7 times. And then they're going to make a movie about Forrest Gump running it.
And she couldn't even stay in hotels. That's how bad it was. They wouldn't allow her to stay in hotels. So because she was faced with so much racism and segregation, she would often sleep like beside her motorcycle at gas stations because hotels wouldn't take her in. And so
Yep.
insane. During World
Sad
War
times,
II,
dude.
she served as a civilian dispatch rider for the U.S. Army. And then after the war, she moved to Miami, where the police chief, as a greeting to her, the police chief in Miami says to her, a black woman should not be riding a motorcycle. And she proved him wrong by literally jumping a ramp in downtown Miami in front of a crowd of hundreds of people to show
Evil Knieveled it.
Yes, to show
She's
that
the
not only
first.
not only can I, but I will.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell
Yeah.
me what to do. That's
And
the
she
kind of
jumped
stuff,
over
dude.
him.
Yes.
Is that true? Or did I make that up?
She jumped over him slow mo. Slow mo. He looked. He watched her go over him. And again, over her life, Betsy owned over 27 Harley Davidsons.
That's a lot.
She kept riding well into her 70s, and she's remembered today as a pioneer who broke down barriers and defied every single expectation. But again, that's just one of hundreds of people
330 episodes
that we've covered on our show that deserve a spotlight, that deserve a story and some
Preach.
and their history to be shared. And so, recognition, yeah. And so
How many people have heard of Bessie Stringfield?
before right now, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
We started our show. If you want to tell somebody, what does Florida Men on Florida Men do well? Well, we love each other well.
Everything.
Yeah. And we love our listeners well, but we also believe in like making people laugh and finding joy in a time where it's difficult to do that. And
Now.
and provide an escape for people during that time. And also too, teach you a little bit about why Florida isn't just like
It's pretty
alligators
cool.
and crime. Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. Like a lot of cool people live here and come from here, and Josh and I come from good stock. You know what I mean? From great
Yes,
stock.
we do. Yeah. The best stock.
Yeah, the best stock. And Josh, at close, I think we wanted it a little bit. I mean, every head bowed, every eye closed real fast. We wanted to talk a bit about our the people that make Florida Man so special. And it's not us.
As an agnostic, I'll just recognize them as human beings.
Go ahead, please. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I'll pass it on to you to recognize them.
Yes. Oh, go ahead. Oh, you want me to do it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So these are the people who literally make our show what it is.
Well,
okay?
so many people have up until today, but now we're going to recognize today's people. Yeah.
Today's people, the people that are in the room and who are literally the best part of why we exist.
Because if we had to list everybody that's helped 332 episodes,
oh my God, we'd be here to the rapture. But I mean, ignore how
Nikolai
I sound.
Carpathia, big
Come
one.
on,
Yeah.
big fan. Ignore how I sound. Ignore how Josh looks. And I want, I want to
please do
shine some light on Baby Luke, our showrunner. He is the person, and we call him Baby. He's 25. Okay, he's fully grown, tons of hair.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
he's
like,
a virgin.
He is, and
Not sexually.
No, like I was like when it, and not even fist
Mentally.
fights, not even fist fights because Luke's been in a fist fight before and won, and so
Of course, dude.
But Luke is the showrunner, and he literally keeps us in line. He's our boss and your boss. So be careful. And if you're into that, I'll give you his number.
I'm not going to get a check this week.
I know. Then we got Jesse, who is
Oh
just
my god, website designer extraordinaire.
he's our designer. And
Photographer extraordinaire.
he's a genius. Jesse will talk to me about AI in ways that just make me feel so stupid. I feel like such a dum-dum.
Yeah, well,
and
you are. But
we have Jordan Westberg, who you hear on the mic
big,
frequently.
Big Uzi Vert, JW.
Big Uzi Vert. Like what they call community manager. He likes to chat with the fans. So if you jump on our live, there's a really good chance you're going to be chatting with Big Uzi Vert, a.k.a. Jordan Westberg, who is from the Pacific Northwest, where the sun don't shine. PNW. We got Emily, who was in the room right
another
now.
photographer extraordinaire.
Photography.
If our photos look good,
Yep. That's
she
right.
probably took them.
That's right. And she's a girl.
Yes.
And
okay.
And I say
Well, I
this,
didn't think that was a thing that needed to be mentioned.
I think it needs to be said because it's hard putting up. It's hard having like a dozen older brothers, which is what we are. You know what I mean? Like
yes. Yeah.
like
yeah.
she's got to put up with this BS like all the time.
Doms. A bunch of doms.
Well, yeah. But and then we have Zach who lives in the Great White North. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Up in
Yeah,
Michigan.
yeah. What's he in the armpit of Ohio?
That's right. His address
but
is
he's in
120,
Michigan.
127 Fervor Street. That's where Zach lives in Michigan. Say hello to him. He's
Hey,
our
Zach.
content manager, incredible animator, and content
And he
creator
makes his
himself.
own videos.
Dude, he is so funny. Check out Who Invited Zach. We have Alina, and Alina can do
Oh
something.
my gosh. Can we talk about this for a while? We could talk about this for a while, actually.
The only person, and I say this so often about Alina, the only person that speaks Spanish better than I do is Alina. She is the host of Famafam Espanol. And let me tell you, her and her father, they run that show.
Oh.
And let me tell you, I assume it's funny. I assume it's funny because a lot of
they
Spaniards,
laugh.
they laugh. A lot of Spanish people I know laugh at it. I wish I
well,
could
they
be
don't
part
call
of it.
Spaniards, I believe.
No, I didn't say that. Did you say that? But
No, you said Spaniards.
sorry, explorers. A lot of explorers laugh at this at her show. And then we got
And she started so long ago with us.
God, Elena. I mean, dude, she started speaking Spanish as a kid, but she started doing it professionally.
Well, yeah, no. She started the Espanol episodes, probably 100. When we were at 150, I think.
Yes. She launched Espanol, and then
And I believe I speak Spanish better because of her.
yes, I speak it worse
Dando?
actually because of
Well, because
yeah.
of the voice.
parquet.
And the polyps.
And then
Say
the
why?
then
Or
the only
because.
the only other person to have a show besides ourselves right now is Peyton Ward, who is
my gosh, yeah.
she hosts a segment called Out of the Office where she is out and about in Florida talking to you. And this is kind of unplanned. But we should probably-
What's my least favorite part of the show?
talking to
Is
people?
talking to strangers.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, if we only had somebody beautiful and funny who could like do this for me. And then,
yeah.
and Peyton,
Brunette.
brunette, cusses.
Yep.
Actually,
glasses, yeah.
and she actually quit cussing because now she's the new host of Sunny Coast Clubhouse, which is
Oh, okay. So the Sunny Coast Clubhouse, this is the kids' version of our show.
that's right, and it's
But I
clean.
thought it had cursing because it was for cool kids. No?
It's for cool kids only, kids who cuss and plan on smoking. Can we say that?
Yeah, like you.
like
if
me.
you want a voice like Papa Wayne,
Yeah, it's just years
Start
and
smoking.
years and
Or
years.
vaping.
Yeah, vaping is actually worse, proven by science. We've got Suzette, who is the editor of our show,
oh, wow, yeah.
and just
The glue, we call her.
she's the glue, man. And how many
Zuzu the glue.
Zuzu the glue, and look, there've been so many times where Josh and I were like, we can't do it anymore. We're crying.
Yeah.
Hey, we're
Yes, yeah.
donezo. And
And
Zuzu
she's like, hop on a call with me
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but I can't because I can't even see my phone screen. I've got so many tears in my eyes.
And
she calls and I'm like, you're right. I can do one more sewed.
Well, and that's what I just wanted to say is that, like, in all seriousness, like, that's all true. But in seriousness, like,
Yeah.
if it was left up to Josh and I's own devices,
woof, dude.
none of this would happen. Like, we wouldn't have, the reach that we have or the influence that we've been able to, accumulate
You
over the
wouldn't
last
have the
7
desk
years.
that you have.
No, bro. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for our friends. And can I say this?
Preach.
A lot of people
Yeah,
say
you
this,
can say this.
but I mean it. Like, we're all just best friends, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
like people envy when you, we started off saying, let's find people we trust and take them with us all the way. And then what we didn't plan on were those people being our friends and actually like being people that we want to spend our life with and hang out with. Yeah, being present. And so like, what you see up here is the worst of our show. And then what you hear is the worst of our show. Like the absolute best is
It's behind the scenes.
the people that we just talked about. Yeah. And Josh is crying now. I mean, and that, well, I thought it was a cry. I saw something else, but episode 333, start here.
You listen
baby.
to it.
You
Thank you.
listen to it. And if you're a returning listener, hey, from the bottom of our heart, we love you, man. We love you.
Yeah. Do you want to shout out some of our listeners?
Can we shout out our day ones? There's a few people who've been with us from the beginning.
The trouble with starting a podcast is you're not going to get listeners from the first episode.
No.
Unless you're us.
If you're
Because
us,
we had one listener that listened from our first episode, and we call him Day One Brian.
day one, Brian, dude.
We don't know how he found us or we found him, but he subscribed instantly.
And let us know. Like right away, he was like, I'm here
fan.
for it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he has a channel called Running with Podcasts where he runs and listens to podcasts and he found our show and he's
So
been
fit.
He's incredible. He's incredible. And and all new Patreon subscribers for a while got actually a shirtless photo of him as a gift.
Oh, okay.
into their
We're
inbox.
limiting that now? I thought we were still
Not
sending
anymore.
that.
We ran out of the papyrus. And then we also have Jamos and Kim, who, when they started listening to our show, can we just say this? They were not married. Okay.
They were not married and they hated each other.
Oh, they were mortal enemies. Imagine the Green Ranger and then that Spanish chick that came out of the moon, Rita Repulsa.
yeah.
They were like just upset with each other.
Butting heads. And then we're like, I think you two have a lot of commonalities. Like you both like coconut shaved ice.
That's right. And then they fell in
And
love.
then they fell in love. And then Wayne, what did you do?
Well, at Comic-Con, when we were at Comic-Con, at our sold out show at Comic-Con, we married them. We performed their wedding. And so shout out to them.
Well, sold out. It was free. But
Yeah. And by sold out, I mean a lot of posers were there. A lot of folks that listen to us. And then last but not least, our last 2 minutes here is Ashley and Nathan, who from the get-go,
our attorney.
and just longest financial supporters.
Yes.
So
These microphones that we speak in,
they
allowed that
they allowed it.
with their dedication to education
That's right.
in the beginning of their life.
That's right. They allowed that.
And Nathan became an attorney, and Ashley was the Warriors, right?
That's right. The Wounded Warrior Project.
The Wounded Warrior Project, yeah.
And so just those are our day ones, people who've been here literally from day one, and now 7 years later, there's a lot of you. And just seriously, I mean, Josh, I mean,
Michael Mutz, Jamie Clemons.
Yeah.
There's a whole list.
If
we forgot,
we
maybe
did
you should spend more. And donate.
Yeah. Hey, we love you.
though.
Thanks for joining the family. Episode 333.
Yes.
We're going to see you next week, and I'm going to be
Cheers.
talking so sexy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Way down upon this one.